We'll call Williamstown Select Board meeting to order. First item is to set the agenda. Everybody have a copy of the updated agenda.
You both got it. He has one. Everybody has one in front of them.
That's one that was in the packet.
No, the one that I stuck in front of you.
We
It's in
had
your
that,
pile.
we did get add that, the executive session for possible legal issue.
But oh, I see here.
No, it should be in that pile I put in front of you.
James going to for possible legal issue for executive session. Anybody outside that we need to add to the agenda? Okay, the motion to approve the agenda as revised.
Aye.
Motion, I need motion to approve the agenda as revised.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as revised.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next item is, deal with the public comments. There's, there's a state laminated thing with that, where you sign in and get any questions. All the meetings out for you, you can look at that. Now, public announcements. Ellen.
Yes, I am hard of hearing, I wear hearing aids, and half the time that I hear, I can't hear half of the people. Do you have microphones you can use? And if there are no the only one that has hearing problems as we get older. You know, what when I didn't know, I didn't hear half. And I wear them. All the time. So is there any way that you can use a microphone and say something, talking to whoever is talking?
Just so you're wondering what that coffee pot is on the table. That's a new system we're using to record the meetings. The old system had microphones, but just fed into the TV thing, I think. So I don't know, is there a way to set up some kind of microphone?
I'll bring some more microphones.
You could probably help out with that, thank you. Okay, we'll work on that for next meeting, how's that? Thank you. First item was this. Yes, sir.
Just wanted to give a quick update on the back squad. We are ready to start effective today or tonight. We're just waiting on a couple more supplies that are supposed to be coming back with the very town truck that's coming back to town. But otherwise, we have currently 5 on our roster. 2 more applications came in. There's a couple of people that are hotter in interest at this time. So we're ready to go as long as everybody else is okay with that.
It's working out good. Thank you. I gotta slow wearing my glasses, I guess. I skipped over select board announcements and select board announcements. Erie County MS report.
I was asked at the last meeting to check out what was bill. So that's current. And this was that was a 61-page bill. And the committee. And this is what came out. Required money, appropriations. The state doesn't have any extra money. Their new program. Died in appropriations. The Senate had a companion bill, pretty much the same thing. That never came out of committee. So, we've got back to kind of law. And the training that I mentioned last time for investigation and animal situation. That training hasn't happened yet. The pandemic and the funding. we'll have to report back to law enforcement. And the other one is just, what, requirements for shelters to be, I mean, you have a dog, looks like a dog house, looks like a dog. I just figured it out for you. So that if you do that, your policy, that's your own policy.
We'll make any kind of new ordinance, we should probably tell them and work with
State's attorney,
that along with whatever they have come up with, see what kind of policy we make so the whole water line comes into home safe and works, I guess. Ask reports, anyone?
No.
Skip over that for now. Committees, questions, committees, trustees, and other board announcements. Hear me, Helen? Can you hear me, Helen?
No.
It's commissions, committees, and other board announcements. That.
I'm ready for it.
That's it? Okay. Next item is approve the warrants, SB 22091, SB 22092, and SB 22093. Can I hear a motion on that?
we'll just have a discussion.
I
Myself.
don't have
trying to
a
figure out which
copy
one
of
it's
the-
on.
2092.
9-2. I've got two, right. I've got to recuse myself from 092.
I don't have 092.
We don't have 092.
I've got two of what Carol has one, but.
Should be under
That was
L.
one that you had already signed, Clayton.
Okay.
So that was kind of the one
That's why I
you
didn't
all
have
came
it
in
to
and
review
signed.
with.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine.
Is it under L?
That's fine, then
Okay.
I'm good with
Under
that.
L.
Any other discussion?
Just questions on 22092. We have an air gas purchase, which I feel like we had one last month. My question was.
No, that's the same one that we talked about. This is the 9-2. The 9-2 one was the one that you already signed.
All right, and then, well, I apparently already signed it, but just to bring up other questions. $10,000 for sidewalk clearing.
That's our contract with Adam Stone for the year.
Annually?
Yes.
Okay. And then, capital fire mutual aid, there's two payments for $539.69. Is that including the ambulance still, or is it always a dual payment? How does that work?
It's a dual payment.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we weren't paying for.
No,
Just
that's been removed.
Okay.
Opposed? The next item is payroll warrants, 324 and 47. Have a motion on that?
I make a motion to approve. That's right.
Second that. Motion made and seconded, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Next item is approved Selectboard minutes for 3/11 and 3/18. Motion on that.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from 3/11 and 3/18.
Second that.
Made, seconded, any discussion? All in favor? Next item is manager report, Jackie.
Okay, delinquent taxes as of today are at $124,996.50. Water's at $8,601.81. Sewer's at $13,157.87. The inventory for the Vermont service line has been completed. They've been around to everybody's house and either left a survey for them to a link to fill it out online, or have met with them and been allowed into the property to look at the line coming into their basements if the people didn't know what they actually had. So that's been completed and they're compiling the data right now. The EWP, you'll be opening the bids later for Meadow Street and Industry Street. We had the site visit 2 weeks ago on the 22nd, and the bids were due on the 5th to be open tonight. FEMA, everything has been entered into the system. I've signed off on all but South Hill Major Culvert and Gilbert Road Major Culvert, because those are in mitigation. So they have to go through a second step with FEMA. Once those have been approved, then we'll sign off on those, and then they'll be submitted to the state. Currently, we've only received $34,000. I have not received anything from the state on all the ones that I've signed off on yet, to sign for them to disperse the money. But that should be taking place here shortly, because I signed off on the last one last Wednesday. And we have 2 sites from the December 18th flooding. We have a mudslide on Chelsea Road that we're created an RFP, and I'll be putting that out to bid within the next couple of weeks. So we'll have those bids in for the next select board meeting. And also Getz Road culvert replacement, which that has already been repaired by the town crew and Mike Avery. The excavator should be here mid-May. So we'll have 2 graders going. The municipal roads grant, Dave and I have compiled a list for Ashley from the state, and she will be coming down within the next couple of weeks to review that with us and decide which one that we're going to use the $21,000 grant on. Tax sales, everything has been completed on the tax sales. Everybody had until the 14th to pay in full. If they did not pay in full, then the title work was done, and that has been completed, and all the letters have been sent out, and the tax sale date is May 29th at 10 a.m. at the town office. I think that is pretty much it.
Anyone have any questions for Jackie?
Still waiting on the paving grant too for Falls Bridge. I've not received the response from the state on that.
And has the FEMA money come in
For
for the flood, for like the library?
the library is through the insurance company, not through FEMA. And I spoke with them. I was in a meeting with Passive on Friday, and they will be submitting the money within the next couple of weeks. They had 3 sewer plants, very large sewer plants, that came in after the fact that delayed everybody else because they have to take everything into consideration for all the insurance claims that they got. But Joe told me on Friday that they are accelerating the smaller claims now that they've gotten their final claims have come in, and they've closed out the claims.
Yeah, we had like 26,000.
It's 24. Yep. Well, unfortunately, there was hundreds and hundreds of claims that came into the insurance company, and the reinsurance has to get involved with that, so that's why it took longer.
Last year, as part of the planning commission, I went around several town highways looking at culverts. And I noticed that there were dead trees along the roadside. Flooding and that, the town crew didn't have a chance to even look at that. My question is there a possible plan to take care of some of them this year?
Yes.
There's other places at the intersection of Route 64 and Brush Hill Road, there are at least 3 dead ones that perhaps might impact Mr. Woodworth's house if the wind is in the right direction. There are a lot of others that are in similar situations.
Roddy?
What is the plan on smoothing the roads? Are we gonna start soon?
Yeah, the grader's going to be out the end of this week.
I started last week and did, I know Baptist Street's been done, Tower Road, Chelsea Road, and we had rain. I mean, in between there, we had 2 feet of snow. I can't speak for the foreman. I'm guessing the grader will be up tomorrow. And then we've got rain again Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But if the 10-day forecast looks good, the next week looks really well. So,
On that same subject, I might get down to Industry Street.
I don't have the grader schedule from Dave, but I'm sure it will be.
That's right, you moved down that area, didn't you?
That's right.
I was wondering why
My
you
wife, amongst 3 people, has already lost her muffler down there, so I would appreciate it if we could at least get the potholes filled up some.
your earlier question on the culverts and stuff, the road foreman and myself and Jackie had a conversation about that. Getting together with William, and one of these culverts are half full of dirt, some are all full of dirt. Trying to work with the fire truck and flush them out. But especially if we have another heavy rain or something. It's about the only method other than digging them up, which is expensive. Get stuff out of them. So, anybody's had that conversation with you guys yet, but it's coming.
We've also are upgrading the culvert inventory with all of the culverts that were replaced during the flood in the last couple of years. So we're working on that.
We don't have any floods this year. I think we get a lot more done. Okay, anybody else have anything? Okay. We'll move on to the E1 refurbish project. This E1 project is the fire engine number 1. Fire engine number 1. This engine is 28 years old. It's one of the new fire trucks that came into town way back. Problem with it is it's a double frame system on the truck. It's very common, those double frame systems, they work from owning dump trucks and stuff. It's all stuff gets between the 2 frame rails, just from the inside out. And this truck is to the point now where it's unlikely we could get it inspected again. It's cracks in the frame and it's popping the frame brackets and mounts out. Oh, just found this, what, spring bracket or spring hanger bracket. So we gotta fix it. Do something with it. And about 2 or 3 months ago, the fire, same members are sitting here now, came in, talked about different ideas with the select board, about ways to go about fixing it. And we asked them to go get the numbers and come back with a proposal. And they did a very good job on it. Whoever ripped that up, first class job on it. They were very thorough. Had options of buying a new truck to replace it versus fixing the one we have. The situation of the one we have, it was the old fire station, the doors were low, the ceilings were low on it, and that truck had to be built so it fits in the old fire station. And now we have much more room for trucks going out. Apartment sizes and stuff, in the ladder racks and different items. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just generalizing it. A lot more usable, bigger with a new, like better word, service body on the back of it. The cabin itself is in very good shape. The engines, the truck's only got 40,000 miles on, I think, what'd you say, 2,700 hours?
2757 on the hours.
Hours. I think on any other truck, that thing is just really getting broke in. It is a dump truck or something like that. So the engine, drivetrain, chassis is all good except for the frame that needs to be replaced. So I know you don't have this in front of me, but I worked on it this weekend, so we have something to discuss. Here, part of their proposal was, we got 2 companies in town that can do some of this work. Then the major work of rebuilding the body, mounting a new body on it, and repainting the truck, and refurbishing some of the interior on the existing cab. And some benefits of air pack needs and stuff like that. It'll be done by a company out of New York. First thing we have to do is take the existing body off the back of this fire truck. That would be brought up to, that would be done by Northern Southwest Company. And then Brooke Roy has done a lot of these trucks. A lot of work he's done. He's done a good job on it. We go from here to Brooke Royals. And then we put a brand new frame. They can buy brand new frames for them. A single rail frame to a double rail frame to actually stronger than what's on it now, but you won't have that rust issue down the road. Norwood's cost to do this part, take the body out, take the pump closure out. It's $4,800 for that. The cost to take the cab off and put a new frame rail. You take all your rims out of it and stuff, and then mount it back on the new frame rail. Nice, so it could be driven to New York. Get the other work done on it is $41,000. So you're up to $46,000 roughly. Those 2 things that could be done here in town with our own people. Then it would go to New York, and the body would be built for the back of it. New ladder racks, new tank, new compartments, and all the stuff that goes with it. The cost to do that is $27,000. Okay. So that would be $372,800 if everything went exactly where they figured. I talked to William tonight. He said the numbers are pretty good for what they everybody figured. So, next question is, we've got 28 annual truck. Sounds like a lot of money to put into it. But buy a new truck. First out for Hancock Fire. First day I got it. This was in March 22nd of this year. $938,911. Truck. $938,911 match. It's very similar to what we have. So, part of their proposal was they put together a 12-year plan to increase the reserve fund by $10,000 each year. We're at $100,000. We got voted approved it. Town meeting this year. Raise it to raise the 30,000 to 100. And what their proposal is to raise it 10,000 each year. So, but using that, I'll go through it a little later here. But one way to finance, if you see on the second page of this thing I did, would be anyway, so we have at the town meeting, there's approved for the ambulance fund, $228,369.15 to be moved, to be put into an ambulance reserve account. Okay, that money's sitting there. We have a contract with Berry Town for 3 years, until July 1 of 2027. That's the end of the 3 years, right? So that money's sitting there. I say collecting number of interest that you can collect on it, probably guessing 2.5%, 3%, max. Money. We did the same exact thing a few years back. We were having water leaks all around town, and we need, talking to the board members, we're spending more money fixing pipes than it cost to service alone to put new main in. So we had enough money at the time. We did Pleasant Street with Vale Road. Those two major problem areas we had because we'd already done Latham Court, others around town. But we didn't have enough money. We had $300,000 water fund that took care of Vale Road. And I think Pleasant Street was like 140 or 150,000. So say 150 for the sewer money plant, sewer account, set up this sewer plant and pipelines and stuff. And that we weren't having many issues with that, and we didn't need to clean the sludge out of it for a few years down the road. So there was over $200,000 sitting in that account. So we checked it out with the lawyer, the town lawyer and stuff, and they said as long as you have a paper trail that you borrowed money from this account, fund another account in town would pay back. Listed it, everything out set up, just like a legal note if you would borrow a bank or something. So it's legal to do that from one fund to another. But people change on the board, managers change stuff, so you have to have a legal paper trail that goes along with it. So we've got enough money. Currently in the major repair reserve and equipment replacement reserve in the fire department fund for $86,678.82. It's currently in there now. Then July 1st, we have another $100,000 for this year's budget. We could go into it, so we got $186,000. It's enough to cover the cost of having these repairs done in town, frame, and taking tank off and stuff. And then when you send it to New York, initially bring it to New York, which is did July when they're proposing. There's $100,000. The work gets done, and just before it's ready to be painted, there's another $100,000 required, and when they pick it up, it's a balance of $127,000. So what I told them, sit down is we borrow $5,000 out of that ambulance fund, and then whatever the fund is generating for interest, whether it be 2% or 5%. Pay it back $75,000 each year for 3 years. I would bring it back to $225 plus whatever interest. If we lose that, then we go to the bank. I mean, it's a little bit hard to go out for money on a 28-year-old truck, sadly. But it's probably save the town 2-3% interest on more conventional bank loan. We don't need the funds for an ambulance for 3 years. Worst case, this whole deal blew up with Berry Town. You know, it's a lot easier to get funds to buy new ambulances. Funds to buy, fix a 28-year-old fire truck. So that one, fire department would have to cover the cost of municipality. Every year it dropped by 75,000. So that's an avenue we could use in-house to fund this project. So it's just that option right there that seems to be the best option at this point. It would save the town's money and the ambulance fund would stay whole, get all the interest, all the money. Sitting there anyway. So, the other option of doing this, like another thing I printed out, you guys don't have it, so it's hard to get. But I did it for select board members. If their fund is at 2.5%, they're making the first year would be $5,600 and $3,700, $1,875. It'd be a total of $11,250 that would go extra into the ambulance fund. If they're making 5%, so that's the way that deal worked. We went that route. Another route, just so the question comes out, why can't you just do the frame and put the same body back on the new frame? Situation we looked at it tonight before the meeting, which corrosion and rust in areas that you can see on the surface was easily be washed on the doors and there's cracks beneath the subframe that's on top of the truck frame that hold the body, tanks. All kinds of reasons why it could just be an ongoing headache. So the reason for the wanting to do the new body on it, say 10, 15 years down the road, truck, you don't want this truck, but it's time to buy a new, you could buy just a cab and chassis for having a truck. I mean, he's gonna have at least one truck that's 20 years old in the firehouse. That would cover us. Cab and chassis, probably at that time, they're probably looking for $400,000 maybe. And this body for this, what we're talking about doing now, can be taken and put on that new cab and chassis. So it'd still be 10 years down the road, looking at probably another $300,000-400,000. Still have a number one in truck area. So you got that correct so far, William? That said, makes sense to go this route. It's not like we're going to throw away $327,000. It could be used down the road on frame chassis. The other option would be, like I said, put this body back on and maybe some minor refurbishment or major. I don't know. Until you take the body off the seat, probably get out for $75,000 or $100,000, and you still got the old body sitting on it. So discussions with the firemen and back and forth with us, their number one route would be to go with what they proposed of getting the new body put on a new frame on existing trucks. The running gear is all good. Cab is all good. It's rotting out. So it's the point where you can't get inspected anymore. So feeling you can't do nothing, you gotta do something. So you spend $75,000-100,000 minimum to get by, fix that thing, and still have the old body on it, or get the new body functional. Another option is to, if we did this, let me finish this first. They put out a 12-year proposal here for the fire department reserve fund, increase it $10,000 each year. The first $100,000 a year in 2025 would be what's coming up. That would be for the deposit when you bring the truck to New York to get the money. So there would be zero gain on that. After that, the next year, fiscal year, would be $110,000, $120,000 up to So after the year 2027, next year, the fund would gain 35,000. You take 75,000 out, pay back the ambulance fund, it'd be plus 35,000. That's next year after that, another 75 comes out, would have a plus 45,000 on top of the 35. And then third year out, 75,000 payment would be another 55,000 added to 2 years, 3 years. But then if you take what's in it without taking any more out of it, because the ambulance will be paid off, you get the end of the 12 years, we would have a total of $1,535,000 set in that account to buy a new fire truck or whatever. Obviously, something's gonna come up on other existing trucks between now and then, will need some of this money for it. Curious, you could go out and buy a brand new fire truck, cash in hand at the end of the 12 years, to follow this route. It seems to be reasonable now, just increasing the budget 10,000 each year, big amount. Pay now or pay later deal. I mean, these trucks aren't going to get any cheaper. Let's look at it that way. So if we went the route of refurbishing the other 12 years with no other expenses, we'd have $1.5 million in the account. I guess other proposals that they had provided that just made for Hancock Fire. Truck is $938,911. I rounded it up to $940,000. I had a calculator, interest calculator. I did 5%, 6%. The payments, annual payments at a 5% loan will be $101,822.80 a year. 6% loan would be $106,579.68 per year to cover $900,000 loan. We have enough to put in the account already to put $140,000 down on it. That would leave borrowing $800,000. So if you take all the payments out, you keep that same, raise the equipment fund 10,000 each year. You take all these payments out over the next 10 years, you would still have the balance at the end in that equipment fund, with nothing else is taken out of it, $110,000. Either way, you're gonna have money left over in the account. Send the fire department and the rest of the board, I think, gentlemen of the board, we'll talk about later, is to go with the fire department and refurbish that truck. $375,000 roughly. They're expecting to get about 15 years out of it. Get a good 10, 15 years out of it. That out and maybe at that time. If we get close to our ISO deadline, the chassis could be put underneath that new body and it'd be good for another 20 years. Rating is concerned. Are you correct so far, right?
Yeah, that was kind of the plan with the tank. For like possibly do chassis and that down the road if need be, so that would cover, go back and cover the ISO and FPA requirement for 20-year-old or truck in-house. So, possibilities are there. I don't ever see us getting to the point where we're going to not be within that threshold.
If we went that road, we could build money in the reserve account a lot faster. If the other trucks need any major repairs or whatever. 10, 15 years down the road, put a new cab chassis in it, bring us back to 10 years. So we have the option of doing nothing, which is not an option. option is to spend $375,000 getting up brand new, private cab on the back of it. Have the option later down, I'll take that private fund on it. Option is to, if we gotta do something, I applaud the fire department for a lot of effort in coming up with all these numbers and did a good job presented it. So it's up to the board now to make a decision which way to go. Go ahead.
Now that I've had a chance to look over what you gave me earlier, taking out the reserves and stuff, moving things around. Whether you want to discuss it tonight or another time, Jackie, we can, I think there's more within the fire truck reserve, or the fire department reserve, that we might be able to borrow from, versus maybe completely depleting the ambulance reserve. The other concern I have is completely, I know I believe in the budget meeting, you guys decided to move the major repairs and the truck replacement into one category versus two. I'd like to try to leave some money for major repairs in case something does happen to one of the other trucks, if there is no money, fix it if need be. But, for example, the air pack reserve is a little under 47,000. I'm still 9 years out. We need to replace our air pack, so possibility of borrowing that money and having that money back when 9 years is up is a possibility as well. And then grant match reserve. Unfortunately, sadly, none of us right now have time to write out a grant. So the possibility of borrowing that money is possible. So I'm just saying, whether you want to hash it tonight or at a different time, there are, looking at this, there are some stuff in the fire department that we can move things around. And also I just want to, Norwood gets all the credit for working with our specking, doing a lot of specking. He did most of the work. I wrote up the packet and worked alongside him and the others get it priced out. But he truly gets the credit for specking the bond.
My thoughts on what you just said was, I understand what you're trying to say, more as least amount you can, but, we have an ambulance fund, sitting here, basically doing nothing, except collecting minimal interest. I'd rather see we keep that money in your reserve accounts, the equipment repairs and stuff, and then there's something may come up with it, rather than try to come back and forth, trying to take money and swap it back and forth. We do this, we need to do one clean note, 75 works over 3 years. That way you get some money in your account, so the fire department is still operating. The ambulance is for 3 years. So that's my thoughts on it.
What's the timeline on both, like getting a new truck versus getting the old one refurbished?
If I remember right, it was like 30 months out.
The brand new one generally takes about a year to spec it out. And then right now, most manufacturers are 5 years out.
So it'd be 6 years or so.
So it could potentially be probably where I would say 3 to 6. I mean 3 to 5. That's with the spec that before you have
Okay.
a lot. And I think it's in the proposal with the Hancock fire for a new truck. A lot of companies are putting in, help me out with the word here, but the contingency funds where it takes 3 years, that price will go up.
Oh, that one.
That's in the market. So if we go with this project, probably the latest we would see it back would be December If they approve it, we could order the 3 reels, I don't know, 7 weeks, roughly 7 weeks by the time frame reels get here and then the project could begin.
Okay, I was just wondering on that. I've never better do it,
So we're looking at 3+ years versus 9 months of having that truck out of service. After doing nothing isn't there anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I just didn't know if it was quicker to get a new truck versus
It's good to
get that one refurbished, but sounds like that's not the logical way to do it.
So I know as far as the board's concerned, we've had that discussion before with the fire department. And we come back with numbers, and they were talking in that $400,000 range back when we had that discussion, 350, 400 when they were talking before. So I think at this point, the board needs to make a decision. And Roger?
This internal law will be well documented.
The town lawyer would draw the paperwork.
No, Nick, the town attorney would draw up the document, and it would be an in-house loan with plenty of paperwork. Yeah, we know how that one way back when took place.
No, we gotta have the right thing. We'll do it right.
Huh?
So there'll probably be a very unhappy group of townspeople.
Yes, no, it will be well documented.
Let's think that town meeting.
Everybody looks at the big picture. It's saving taxpayers money because it's saving 2 to 4% probably interest. You have to borrow money. Bank. So, like we're stealing from everybody, they're gonna get the same amount they get, it's sitting there. Which will make use of it. In the situation, we shouldn't need it, it's at least 3 years. Does it sooner, then we'll deal with it. The fire department will have to get the payments done anyway, but make it work. So anyway, you have a decision to make, and I would like someone to make a motion on one of these proposals, maybe new truck, refurbish existing truck, or minimum wage.
I'll make the motion. Are you ready? It's gonna be long.
What are we gonna do here?
I would make the motion for the E1 refurbish project that authorize fire department to spend up to $375,000 to refurbish the town's engine #1 fire truck with money from the current fire truck replacement account and borrowing $225,000 from the ambulance reserve account. Money from the ambulance account would be paid back over the next 3 years in $75,000 payments, plus the current interest rate the account is now generating from future fire department truck reserve funds.
Take a picture for you.
Any further discussion?
So, full disclosure, I'm a member of the fire department, and I'm seeing utilizing the ambulance funds tonight. So just backtrack a little bit, we do have basically a refusal policy, conflict of interest policy in town. Just went to a select board training. So being part of the Vermont League of Cities and Towns, I contacted one of their lawyers to see if, there's been questions, at least in the meetings I've been previous to this, what is considered a conflict of interest. The town policy states is pretty much something that the Vermont League of Cities and Towns had made up years ago. They have a new policy. And there's a clause in our policy that says, basically you're not allowed to do it. That's not legal. So I can vote tonight in theory. I'm not saying I'm going to, but and also Rodney's in Montpelier H875 There's a new state ethics law. If that law passes, which it seems like it's going to, that's going to void any municipal conflict of interest, but that's the future. As a firefighter, and also full disclosure, I had no planning. The first time I actually really heard about this was Wednesday when I got my packet. I'm not an officer within the fire department. I am a firefighter. I think it is wise of us as a town to do the refurbish project because that is saving a lot of money. I printed out something for Berrytown. They are purchasing a new fire truck. That was approved in January. This was the January 2nd meeting. And they're spending $866,000 on a new fire truck. So that's our neighboring town. Throughout my fire service career, a fire engine, like engine one, pre-pandemic was $300,000 to $400,000. They're now $800,000 to $1 million. So it's not just this one company, that's just how the industry standard is going. My only concern is utilizing the reserve funds from the ambulance because, as Marie said, the town was very explicit with what those funds are going to be. And yes, that money can be paid back by 3 years. I think the town's intent, meaning the townspeople intent on town meeting day, was to have potentially a viable contract bid to get our ambulance back in town. As a member of the FAST squad, I mean, that's part of keeping people certified. So if that was an option, because it is a contract with Berrytown, and I don't have Berrytown's contract in front of me, but there is a clause in that contract that in order for the town to we as a town select board have to warn them that we are not going to contract with them at a certain date. I don't know what that date is. Jackie, you might know the specific date.
60 days.
60 days before the end of the contract, we'll go with that. But if this money, ambulances just like fire trucks, like my class, how long does it take to get a new fire truck? I am assuming most ambulance manufacturers, I know Berrytown ambulance had an issue. They ordered ambulances pre-pandemic, and it took them 3 or 4 years to get a new ambulance. So that being said, if we utilize this money ahead of time, and the town decides, to go back with the town ambulance, 60 days out, if this loan is paid back, it could be 3 years before the town of Williamstown owns an ambulance. And ambulance manufacturing is probably more strict in terms of certifications and technology than fire truck manufacturing. And I help spec an ambulance when I'm in Burlington, but ambulances generally are utilized more, they have more miles, because they are out on the road more. So that, I'm not optimistic saying yes to utilizing the ambulance funds, and maybe the fire chief can explain the system how they were looking to pay for first. I just consciously cannot say I don't think the townspeople were the intent of them putting the $228,000 in that account was to be put towards an ambulance. I think that was even how it was put in town meeting day, pretty explicitly. So I don't think it's wise of us, if we have funding mechanisms in the fire department, I do believe made a funding mechanism to pay for this truck, and we're still saving, $600,000. So that's just my piece, and I'm probably going to abstain from the vote regardless because I am a member of the fire department until H 875 changes. But I'd be very cautious because the townspeople were quite explicit that that money was to only be used for purchasing of an ambulance. And I understand where Larry is coming from saying 3 years from now, but if the town gets enough certified members in a year and a half and we can really go forth trying to push a proposal to bring the ambulance back, it might take 2 years to get an ambulance. So we're going to be in a funding crisis either way, and I think it's gonna be easier for us to get a new ambulance or bring back the Williamstown ambulance service if we have a funding mechanism versus saying, we have no money, Berrytown's doing this, and the fire department's used all the money. Not that the fire department is trying to use the money, obviously. Yes, sorry, Larry.
Let me answer your own question. That's what they do 3 years ago, the ambulance built building, right?
Yeah.
What are we gaining by not using this money? 60 days from 2 years from now, you decide you wanna go your own deal. It'll take you 2 years.
Well, I'm just guessing. I don't know how long it takes to get an ambulance.
We just started this thing with Berrytown. It's going very well. I don't see it changing in this year. I had loads of people on the ambulance squad. I was on the board 9 years before I was on this step, and I was a problem almost from the first year all the way up to go up and down. You get different issues, volunteers, stuff. We have, in order to cure that problem, we have to have a full ambulance squad, just like we're doing right now.
There's gonna be
To cure
somewhere
that
where the
up
money
and down
for
issue
the
with volunteers.
ambulance is
It
a
just doesn't
separate
work.
article.
It's not, the town's too small for that thing, and that was what we tried to put in there. Doing very town is the cost difference. We had to have our own in-house ambulance service versus having them do it. The only difference is going to be an extra $1,600 a year. The same money, probably going to cost us more than cheapest vendors. This money out of here, you do it right. Issues if something would array next year, you decide on program for the ambulance and the fire department fund would be for. Make it out of the old and give all the money back. There's other ways to do it. All we're trying to do is make us some money to make a minimal interest. Put it to good use. Try to do it. Want to go out there and pay $1, that's fine. You get that person, interest, and you have to pay the price. It's all for the public good. It's not just what's the best interest of town's whole.
And I understand your point. You're saying the town interest as a whole, the town of Williamstown on town meeting day voted for that money explicitly wouldn't account for ambulance.
We're not making it, keeping it.
Let's see, the motion to authorize the Williamstown Ambulance Replacement Reserve in the amount of $215,743.42 and the Williamstown Ambulance Replacement Reserve in the amount of $12,625.73 is now in an emergency reserve fund. That's how the motion was. This is the minutes from the meeting, and
That's not the motion I made. I said for emergency medical services.
That's what I think I put in my minutes.
these are your minutes. Yeah, from the website. I'm reading of the minutes off the website. So the motion is to authorize the Williamstown Ambulance Replacement Reserve in the amount of $215,000 plus, and the Williamstown Ambulance Replacement Reserve in the amount of $12,625 plus is now in an emergency reserve fund.
No, I definitely said the word medical. So unfortunately, I apologize.
Steve Hardiker made the motion to amend the fund to the Williamstown Emergency Fund, seconded by Jamie Laird.
And then it went on, kept going on.
The amendment was voted on and carried. The amendment to authorize the Williamstown Ambulance Replacement Reserve in the amount of the $215,000 plus and the Williamstown Equipment Reserve in the amount of $12,000 plus to be allocated in the Williamstown Emergency Fund.
Either way, everybody in this room knows what the intent was, and nobody in this room is trying to chisel anybody out of that. It's just a method of creating an opportunity to save the town a few bucks on interest. I mean,
In 30 years, it will be nice if that money is there for an ambulance, if the town is voting for an ambulance.
Well, let's just,
Right.
You guys said you were gonna get this written up by a lawyer, correct? So, I understand the ambulance takeover, it was a very sensitive subject and still very sensitive. I didn't know about this until, a little while ago. I tend to agree with it on the fact that we're not having to go out. But if the board is willing to think about it or consider it, money's gonna be going back pretty rapidly. And I expect, the way everything's being laid out within 3 years, you'd have that money back and some. However, to put maybe some people at ease, could we perhaps get it written up that if a proposal comes to you guys and they're ready to move forward with an ambulance service prior to the 3 years and prior to the whole amount being paid back, that just take the rest of the money from the fire truck reserve fund, and because they're accumulating money, still accumulating money back into the truck fund on top of paying the ambulance back. So I'm guessing it's going to be a minimum 2 years before you guys become forward with a proposal, or people from the ambulance become forward with a proposal that there'll be enough money in the fire truck reserve on top of what you guys got paid back. And I would totally support taking that rest of that money if that's what the board decides to do to move forward with the Williamstown ambulance. I get it, it's a sensitive subject, and I'm not looking to make it more complicated at all, but the board would agree to doing something like that, as long as I aspire chief, I would.
That could easily be written into the note, just like you have a note for the banker, that could easily be written into it. By the end of the 3 years, the fire department would have to come up with funds. Whatever the balances could be. 50,000, 75,000. And that would cover what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, again, full disclosure, I was on the ambulance, and honestly, I think that's why I'm sitting up here today. I did 0 canvassing. So I really feel like clearly we're having this public discourse, but I don't, the intent of the townspeople, and I know what I said at town meeting, and unfortunately it got misreported. And it is what it is. But sitting at that Tuesday in March, it was very explicit from what the town, the people, the voters of this community, where it wanted that money. And I agree with Larry that, and yes, trust me, I'm not a banker, but I have several bank accounts and they have different titles and where my bills are paid. And sometimes it's kind of wrong meter to pay Paul, and I have to put money back to that. The concern is when I do this in my own home finances, sometimes those accounts don't get paid back, and I understand having lawyers, but we don't have a draft note in front of us right now. It could be misrecorded again. I would not feel comfortable. And again, maybe I'm abstaining from this, but unless that legal language is there and truly understood, I would have a hard time voting yay in this circumstance.
I was on the same thought process as William, but I was thinking that if it came to the point where we got to that point where a proposal was brought back to bring the ambulance back, and we were still within this 3-year loan frame, we could go out and borrow the money to pay back the ambulance for a short-term note through a bank if we needed to for the balance of it.
I guess my
but that could be written in, and I can call the attorney tomorrow morning and have him draw up something that you guys can you can call a special select board meeting if you want, once it's available, and you can review it, and, or I can send out a draft to you all to look at, and if there's any issues or concerns, it can be brought back to the attorney prior to, before it's signed and documented.
May I ask a question of the fire chief? When is the inspection due on engine one?
July or August? July, yes.
Just want to clarify something. You're not getting this court amendments to the motion. Change what the court voted on. This report.
That was a convoluted issue, and there was a lot of amendments and changes done, so I totally understand where it could have been.
I do remember him saying emergency medical services, but it was amended 18 million times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I clearly remember how it was discussed, I'm sure the other board members do, and we know what the intent was. And so we get this, we draw up with a clause in there, if that money is needed for an ambulance, prior to the 3 years is up, it has to be paid up, paid into the account. The lawyers could draw that up. It's just like balloon notes for the bank. You borrow money for 20 years, and loans in 5 years, there's all kinds of ways. I'm just leaving. The fund is covered. Fire department gets to use it at a cheaper interest rate. It's a win-win situation for the town. It's going to be less money paid out. And it all comes, the fire department members or taxpayers, we all are. We can save a few bucks and money just sitting there. Why not take advantage of it? But ensure that it's there. That clause written into it. I think we got a situation now, truck coming up for inspection. We want to have that truck back. We need to get this stuff ordered, get going on it. We can, worst comes to worst, we can find a way somehow to make it fund this thing. By putting up some other collateral or something to cover that truck if it can't go on. So I think it's something that we need to, you can't be down a fire truck 2 or 3 years late for no one. So it needs to get resolved. I think we need to move forward at some point on that. We have a motion on the table to refurbish engine 1, use the money out of the ambulance reserve account. To do that in the way we talked about. Do you have any other discussion?
Maybe, I mean, again, I'm very new here, so I'm leaning on all of you with your experience. If I could make an amendment to the initial, instead of repaying the ambulance fund back in 3 years, say 24 months.
We don't generate that, we're not gonna generate enough income in the fire department. Still have any left at all. It's up and down. It says refunded. There'll still be some money left in there. We got 3 other trucks and other issues.
We put that clause in the loan agreement that if it's needed prior to the 3-year period, then the fire department would have to find alternative money to pay it back.
Well, I don't think it would be the fire department because it's ultimately the town.
Well, it would, because it would come out of the fire department's money. So the fire department would have to, the town would borrow the money for the fire department, but it would come under the fire department's fund as the accounting goes.
So I guess what I'm going to do, just for the sake of, I believe what the town's intent was, if I'm doing this correctly, I make an if I can make an amendment to what was already amended that we do not utilize, we move forward with this without utilizing the ambulance, the emergency medical, or the emergency services reserve fund. Making an amendment. I'm in it. I don't think, unless there's,
You're gonna vote on it.
yeah.
Somebody would have to second the amendment. Article 5 on the town meeting warrant. The voters authorize the select board to borrow money to pay the current expenses of the town in anticipation of money received from taxes and state of law. We can borrow, so it doesn't say where we can borrow the money or how we can borrow the money, it just says we can borrow it. As long as we can say it, I understand where you're coming from. We put the language in there to cover it if this side we can work. We'll find the money somewhere else and we'll get this, put it back in that fund.
I just. The town has an intent, and I don't. Because I will be quite, I wish, even in town meeting day, I wish, as a personal member, I am a member of the fire department, I wish that money would have just been moved to the fire department. I think it would have made it, honestly, but I don't think that's what the town wanted. And I honestly don't think the fire department wanted that because this money is very controversial right now within our town. So I made my motion. I think hopefully everyone that sees this, is I did try to make an effort for the taxpayers and what their intent was.
William?
Honestly, that's Tyler, just, I don't know, I'm not gonna give it over, that's not good. If they put that amendment in contract or whatever, I promise you, I will support that money being plugged in.
Yeah, I'm putting in the clause.
And you know, if you know where it's
Yeah.
I will not come back and use that
And I know you're good.
I need, we need to add that.
All in favor of the motion? Let me say aye. Opposed?
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, thank you for the work you put into this. Next item is water and electric, working town library request.
Okay, Washington Electric would like to perform work on Chelsea Road in the vicinity of the residence of Luke LaPearl. Description of work to be performed is cutting, trimming trees, chipping brush, installing utility poles, anchors, guide wires, and conductors.
And maybe take that branch down, hanging off the power line. Well, I've been waiting for one of these guys to do with the plow. I figured that'd be here, maybe power line, the branch.
Just out of reach, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Make a motion on that?
Make a motion that we grant Washington Electric Co-op the permit to work in the right of way.
Any second, any discussion? In favor?
Aye.
Okay. Appointment of officers.
Okay, I have
The sheet that was in the packet, Jackie.
Yep, and there's one addition to that. I had, the emergency management coordinator, which is myself. I've asked Marie Graham, to be the Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator, only because I do not live in town. And if anything comes up, and I can't make it into town, then she would oversee getting the shelter opened or contacting Red Cross. And she'll also work on the local emergency management plan with me, with the yearly. It's already been done for this year, but next year she'll work on the revisions with me.
So you would have Marie's name on your.
Yeah, it would be Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator, Marie Graham, for a 1-year period, expiring in 2025.
Anyways,
What's that?
we have the other vacant ones in fence viewer in solid waste management district. We need a third fence viewer for any particular reason.
No, we've had one fence viewer for multiple years, so, but we have 2 now, so.
Anybody want to be a fence viewer? We've added 2. Solid waste management district. Anybody interested in that?
I will again post the vacancies on
No,
the.
no, I didn't. What is it for?
Central Vermont Solid Waste Management District representative for the town of Williamstown.
Overseer of the trash in town.
I put up a lot of garbage in my life, but what do you have to do?
There's a monthly meeting that you have to go to.
I'll think about letting you know tomorrow.
Okay, I will post it on the website and in the legal posting places.
So I guess we could make a motion to approve the others on the list, in addition to the Graham to the emergency management coordinator. Motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Yep.
Any discussion? Rodney?
Read the list, so I know.
Okay, let's see. Planning Commission, take it, 2026, 3-year term. It's Horace Duke. 2025 for 3 years, David Trask, 2025, 3 years, Leslie Couillard, 2027, 3 years, Susan Lyons, 2027, 3 years, Rich Turner, 2027, 3 years, and Ron Snyder, 2026, 3 years. Floodplain Zoning Administrator, Jacqueline Higgins, 2025 for 1 year. Fence viewers, Clayton Woodward. First, you have a vacant position for 2025. Woodward, 2025. Richard Powell, 2025 for 1 year. Central Vermont Regional Planning, Richard Turner, 2025 for 1 year. Tree Warden, Richard Turner, 2025 for 1 year. Central Vermont Solid Waste Districts, vacant. Inspector of Lumber, Shingles, Wood, Christopher Wade, 2025 for 1 year. Where's the coal? Christopher Wade, 2025 for 1 year. Salvage Yard Inspector, Christopher Wade, 2025 for 1 year. Town Storage Officer, Jacqueline Higgins, 2025 for 1 year. Cleanup Concierge, Jacqueline Higgins, Barbara Graham, 2025 for 1 year. Management Coordinator, Jacqueline Higgins, Marie Graham, 2025 for 1 year. Any questions there? Okay, motion's been made, seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next is Lister's appointment. We never did get a letter for resignation for the.
No, that has not come in yet, so we can table that for the next meeting.
No, I think sure, Andy.
Well,
They could shake their head, yes.
the third member, yes. And my understanding is that he will be submitting a letter of resignation, so there will be a vacancy on the listers.
So we have one person applied, Bill Peabody. It's the time here when they're checking properties and stuff. Could we do something like appoint Bill Peabody? As soon as we get that letter of resignation, automatically finish.
No, Bill Peabody did not get his petition in to get voted back in, but he submitted his request to be appointed for this year, and then he would put a petition in January to get on to fulfill the
So we
rest
could
of
go ahead
this.
and appoint him.
So we would have 2 listers if you appoint Bill Peabody. Gordy's still a lister. And then Bill Peabody, if you appoint him, will be a lister, so that'll be 2 listers. And then when Kirk submits his resignation, then we can post that vacancy and you can appoint.
Bill's not replacing.
No. He's replacing himself because he didn't get his petition in.
So we only have one person for this appointment that's applied, is Bill Peabody. Anyone else interested in that lister's position? Then entertain a motion to appoint Bill Peabody for lister. Motion that. Okay. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And appointment for the moderator. The only one that put the name in for that was Heather King. Anyone else interested in being town moderator? So, I'll get you this up, yeah. Okay. So I guess at this point, we have a motion to appoint Heather King for town moderator.
So moved.
Motion made,
Second.
motion made, seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're down to the Baker Fund appointments. 3 people, we need to get 2, right?
Yeah, we have, Marie got elected at town meeting, Marie Graham.
So she's already.
And so we have 2 vacancies to fill, and you have 3 letters of interest.
Courtney Wade submitted a letter, Charlene Hellman submitted a letter, and Heather King submitted a letter. So we need to pick 2 out of that.
I'm gonna refuse myself from that.
I make a motion for one of the positions for the Henry Estate.
We need to.
I'll add Henry King and Charlene Hellman.
The motion is made to support Charlene Hellman and Heather King to Henry Estate Fund. Motion on that? Any further discussion on that?
Yeah, second.
Somebody second that motion?
Yeah.
Second. Any further discussion on that?
I was just gonna, the reason I suggested them, I reached out to all persons. I never unfortunately got to talk to Courtney. Heather is a social worker that works at the Vermont Psychiatric Hospital, so she has a lot of experience with this, so I think she'd be a good appointment with that. It seems like she's very knowledgeable of people that have already dealt with domestic violence through her job. And then Charlene Hellman also contacted her. She recently moved back to Williamstown, and this is just a way of trying to help out her community. And unfortunately, like I said, I left a message for Courtney, and she never got back.
Well, I was before that, she had to work today.
Marie
I just want to clarify, I did some research on what the Henry S. Baker Fund is, and it isn't solely for women of domestic violence. It is written that it is for a poor and deserving female of Williamstown that would get money from this fund. So that can be of many different avenues, but it's actually listed as poor and deserving and not what we all thought it was originally when I went back into the history of what it was for. Just to clarify what it's actually for.
We went from having no interest in it to having all kinds of interest in it. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Vote. Library board appointments, next one, we have one, Mr. Woodruff, interested in being on it. Anybody else interested in being on the library?
I just turned to Woodback, who else?
That's it.
Make a motion to appoint Judy Woodback to the library.
Any further discussion?
Aye.
Vote.
That would make a full board. Been a long time since we've had a full
Okay, next board we need is for cemetery commission, we need two. We've had two people express interest in it, Orville LaSalle and Matt Walker. Is anyone else interested in the cemetery commission? Any motion on that? LaSalle put his name in and Matt Walker.
I'll make a motion to accept both. That's right.
Second. Motion made and seconded, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote. Okay, trustee of public fund. We have one name, over the Sulphur's name is that. Anyone else interested in trustee of public funds? I hear a motion on that for local agreement.
So moved.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I've been on these two projects, so
all these are people that just got appointed, they all need to stop in and get sworn in for the year. You can do nothing, you know, because I can swear you again, so everybody needs to come in and sworn in.
We're gonna do the Industry Street brook dredging project bid opening.
Okay, we received two bids for Industry Street. The first one is from Ward's Excavation and Concrete, and the total bid cost, including excavation, trucking, and hydro seeding, is $44,900. And the second one is Hebert Excavation. In the amount of $52,000.
That's for the same work there.
Yes, yeah, they both got everybody got the same RFP.
Okay.
Have a motion on which bid board would like to accept.
who was the first one?
Ward's
Ward's
Excavation,
Excavation.
$44,900.
Make a motion to accept Ward's bid.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor to accept awards?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. And next will be the Meadow Street dredging project bid opening.
Okay, again, we both got the same RFPs. And there were multiple sent out. I sent out 6. Ward's excavation, total bid cost including excavation, trucking, and hydro seeding is $24,900. And Hebert excavation is total for the work is $46,000.
46,000.
$46,000.
We have a motion?
Yeah, make a motion, we accept awards bid.
Second?
Like that.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept Ward's excavating bid for $24,900. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
There are no liquor licenses.
Material gonna go and get stretched out.
So the material has to set for up to 48 hours on location, and then it will be taken to the stump dump, Williamstown stump dump. It's already been approved by the state transfer station. Yep.
No liquor licenses?
No, they've extended it. I believe Barb said they've extended it until June.
Yes, I was gonna say there's 3 liquor licenses still out, the pub, Sunrock, Solid Rock Crew, and Dollar General. My department they said that June, but they right now, so we should get their the next meeting at least. So I'm still waiting. I haven't seen anything in my portal.
Williamstown's got
Waiting to.
once you get them, you're with them.
Right, exactly. They did extend the date from April 30th or May 1st to June 30th.
Okay, so next item is class 4 fund request from Tom Haley.
Yeah, this would be for Moore Road, requesting $1,000 worth of materials.
Are we set with that fund? He hasn't applied to.
He applied 4 or 5 years ago and did not get it. It was back when Fish and Game, Williamstown Fish and Game had applied. They both applied at the same time, and he was denied. And also we did Young Road for Sheridan, Gary and David Sheridan, and they were approved. And the Fish and Game was approved, but then they retracted theirs because they were going to do something else.
So the money's in the fund. Has requested $1,000. I hear a motion on that.
Make a motion, we accept that.
Second.
I'll second it.
Second, any further discussion? Aye. No old business. Round table.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a policy now. Yeah.
I don't, I'm good, thank you.
So we need to take a 10-minute recess to go to executive session. Robbie?
I just want to make an announcement that, I will not be running again for,
there. I don't have patience to go down there.
I had to get really sore banging
Somebody shovel an uphill battle. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Rob.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.